Hey, Glenn.
Hey, Chris. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm good. Feels like we've been gone a while.
Yeah, it does.
Good to get back.
It does. It is.
It's been, what, a couple weeks?
Yeah, I think a couple weeks.
It's been a crazy couple weeks in the Disney World, though, right? I mean, lots going on.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, so
last week,
yeah,
Thursday through Sunday was Star Wars Celebration in beautiful, sunny Orlando, Florida.
And it is, man. I've said this before in the show, but it is such a great... I don't know if we're getting off easy temperature-wise, but it seems like usually by now it's like already it's summer, but it's still been beautiful here. I don't know about way up north where you are, but
it's nice.
It's been pretty good.
It has been. It's been cool. And I think this weekend coming up, it's supposed to be bringing an actual little cool front. So it should get down to like, I think 60s or so.
No. We went blueberry picking and everything. You ever done anything like that? Blueberry picking?
No, but the kids and Tammy have like on because
like
they go to exactly.
Yeah. I think my son's school's doing that too. But it's kind of fun. You know, I'm not an outdoorsy guy, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of stupid. You know, like I'm out there, I'm probably paying more per pound for these blueberries than if I just got them at the Publix. And I'm having to pick them myself, but it's fun. But it's funny at the thing we go to. I think it's called Beck's Brothers. It's pretty new here. It's fun, but they have a little sign up that basically it says this is an agritourism site, which is kind of interesting terminology. So since this is Disney related and tourism, whatever, I thought that's kind of interesting. Yeah. The rest of the sign goes along to say if you kill yourself picking your own blueberries, totally your fault.
Cool. Labels. In case you're allergic or something and don't know.
I guess, or if like there's a rattlesnake in there or something. I'm really not sure.
Oh, gee.
The sign basically says, and I guess there's specific statutes for this. If you label yourself and whatever the requirements are as an agritourism site, then you have certain protections legally, right? Liability wise.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I guess that business, one lawsuit and there go your blueberries.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, it's fun.
Cool.
Yeah, I know. Not what we tuned in for. But what were we talking about? Oh, yeah. So Star Wars, because you mentioned beautiful. So Star Wars Celebration, right?
Yeah.
Which I love. You've never been to one, right?
I have never been to one, unfortunately.
Yeah. You know what's weird is this was the 7th one, I think?
Yeah, I think it was.
At least in North America. I realized afterwards I've been to almost half of them for some strange reason. So I think the first time was in 2010? Maybe before that. I don't remember. I went to 4 and 5, which were both in Orlando. Yeah. There was a long break before that where it wasn't like they didn't do it for a whole lot of years.
Right.
And if anybody doesn't know, it's basically, I don't know how you don't know, but if you don't know, it is you know how they do like conventions for Comic-Con and MegaCon and those things. It's like that, but specifically Star Wars, right? So the biggest and I guess official convention for Star Wars stuff.
Right.
So they have celebrities there, they have panels, they have, the whole trade floor thing. There's all kinds of things going on. Believe it or not, there's an entire row that's all set up for people that want to get Star Wars tattoos. They have tattoo artists there, so you can get it right there at the con. And it's just crazy mayhem. Cosplayers everywhere for every possible I almost said Star Trek, every possible Star Wars character you could imagine. It is just a complete nerd mayhem, but it's a neat, true celebration of the Star Wars universe. So it's pretty cool. So this is my 3rd one.
Cool.
Yeah. So it was good. I wish they would. I was going to say more often. I wish they would have them in Orlando more often. The last one they had in L.A. So it's been 4 years, I think, since one was here. So it's not like they happen every year. It's not like Star Wars weekends where every year you get a chance to go. So that's why it's a good tie-in. If you've been to Star Wars weekends, it's like that, but like times a million, right?
Yeah.
So, wait, what? Star Wars weekend's gone? What?
Yeah. Yeah.
When did that happen? Really?
I think last year was the first year they didn't have it.
Oh, they didn't have it last year?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, last year was kind of crazy for me, so I didn't get out much.
Yeah, and then they didn't.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it usually starts, what, like April, May?
Yeah, they usually overlap. Oh no, that's not true. I think they did overlap last time though.
They were they were pretty close. I think you're right. Actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah. So anyway, no, they don't do Star Wars weekends anymore.
Huh. Well, I don't think I like that. Who do I talk to about it? Because we fixed it.
Apparently we can just talk here because
I was going to say we fixed a number of things already. So who do we talk about?
So we'll just voice our opinion that they should have Star Wars weekends going forward, starting in 2018.
Well, all right, this wasn't on the rundown, but now you got to explain this to me. What is the reasoning behind getting rid of Star Wars weekends, especially now that the park is half under renovation? Wouldn't it be like the time to actually have, and you're building up this whole Star Wars thing? Wouldn't you want to have that?
Yeah. So the Star Wars launch bay took the place, and it's a year-round Star Wars celebration there.
It's not the same though.
I know, but that's pretty much the reason. Right. You have that, and you had that nighttime show, and so they had Star Wars longer all throughout the year.
Right. It'd be kind of silly. Okay, now we're gonna have Star Wars weekend. So you're like, well, what is all that other stuff?
Right. So
okay, all right, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, never mind.
But they were fun. I mean, they because they had a lot of a lot of the actors and actresses would visit and speak, and you get their autographs and all that good stuff.
Now, you actually went to Star Wars weekends long before I did, and I get the sense from the stories that Uncle Glenn has told me that it was actually like bigger, because the recent Star Wars weekends would be like, oh, this guy was the understudy to Chewbacca in the animated series, right? It was like somebody pretty so much obscure.
They had when we went. I think it may have been the last one. Let me think. 24. Yeah, I think the last one we went to was the last one they had.
Oh, is that right?
I think so. We went in 2014. So
I don't know.
This is 20. They might have had it in 2015. So, but anyway, when we went that weekend, it was like John Ratzenberger, who literally was in Empire Strikes Back for maybe a minute at the most.
Yeah.
They had the voice of Ahsoka from Star Wars.
Actually, she's pretty popular.
She is. Actually, she was. And it was actually kind of cool to see her because she has her universe of clothing line and everything else. And then, anyway, like Ray Park, who I think he lives there in a tent or something. And, they had that, that caliber. But yeah, so in years past, we got to see Billy D. Williams and the one and only Carrie Fisher. And believe it or not, we saw Anthony Daniels.
Oh my God, you caught him somewhere?
Yes.
A glimpse of him?
A glimpse, yes, just a glimpse of him. And
a fleeting golden
Mayhew. So we saw bigger names from the original trilogy and stuff.
Yeah, it seemed like kind of tapered off. I don't know. I mean, certainly Harrison Ford never went, I don't think, but
no.
Did Mark Hamill ever go to
Star
Wars Week? Did he? Yeah.
Actually, that's right. He was at the one in 2015, the last one. So yes, he was there.
You're right. He was like in the parade anyway.
He was huge. Yeah, I don't think he autographed anything, but he was there for the parade and for the Q&A and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Star Wars Celebration is like that, but not at Disney. It was at the convention center, and it's just crazy. And I'd been twice before. The first time I didn't know what it was about, so my wife and I, before we had kids, we just went on like a Saturday. And it was like, hey, let's go check out this nerd thing. And we just went on a Saturday, walked up, bought some tickets, and like it's a neat combination of different things. And I'm like, hey, if this ever comes back, I want to go spend more time here. I'll book like a multi-day ticket and go see some things. Mm-hmm. So it was like either the next year or 2 years later, came back, and that year I did it right. I got like the multi-day ticket and went to some neat panels. The one that really sticks in my head is that is one I wish I could remember the guy's name. I should probably look it up before I say it. But there's a guy at Lucasfilm. It's before Disney bought it. Still at Lucasfilm, I guess. I don't know what his name is. I should have it. I'll look it up while we talk. Anyway, he the whole talk was about how he created this database system called the Holocron, which this one guy, one person. Now, the universe was only slightly. Well, I was going to say slightly smaller than it is today in terms of Star Wars, but no, it might have actually been bigger with the whole expanded universe thing. This guy's one job was to document and control all of the storylines of everything in the Star Wars universe, from the books to the movies to the cartoons to I mean, even the smallest anything that would ever come out, and he would have to put this in this database, which was nothing more than an access database that he started. And he, what I gathered from this talk was he started it just as sort of like a side thing. Like he was into the whole lore and everything that happened. So just as a side part of his job, he started keeping track of it. But then it became his official job, and so he was the keeper of all the lore of Star Wars everywhere. And so people would have a new book idea they want to bring, and they'd have to come look at it and make sure that it didn't conflict with any other lore they had out there, et cetera, et cetera. So that was one of the talks, was by that guy, and he had screenshots of his database, and talked about he did that. So there's lots of neat sort of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, his name is Leland Chi.
There you go. Thank you. I think I was worried. Silly. I don't know Leland, but I love what he did. I was worried about him in the Disney transition, because you'd figure Disney would come in and go, "Thanks, Mr. Chi. We got this." We have we have other databases other than Access. But last I heard, which was probably a year ago, that I think he was still sort of in that position, but he was part of a much larger group because they're doing so much more with story. So I don't know if he's still doing that gig, but I hope so.
So from the Star Wars Wiki,
not Wikipedia.
No, not Wikipedia, but so it is. It is maintained by him. It doesn't say anything, but I don't know the date. Anyway, so it's maintained by Leland Chi on FileMaker Pro 7 software, and was created in early 2000, starting from a core of material imported into the database from the Behind the Magic and Star Wars Episode 1 Insider's Guide CD-ROMs.
Oh, wow.
But it has since grown substantially as new information has been added. At present, there are no plans to release any portion of the holocron to the public. One reason cited is, in addition to being an archive for information that has already been published, the holocron is a tool to track everything that is currently in development. Information is entered at the earliest stages, so there's information about products that won't be released until years later. It is also used to store unpublished reference information. And then it actually says a rare glimpse at the holocron was seen at the celebration for 30 years of Star Wars publishing and continuity panel. So that's the one you saw. So that's the only time it's been seen.
Well, somebody's numbers are right, because Celebration 4, I think, was in Los Angeles. So I think I went to 5 and 6. That's right. I went to 5 and 6.
Okay. Yeah, it was in Los Angeles.
Yeah, so I guess they repeated it for 5 or 6, whichever one I went to. I went to 5 and 6, so whichever one he did the talk again. Anyway, so those are the kinds of things. Like another one I went to was just on the Star Wars comics, which if you know Star Wars comics, like the history of those are pretty crazy. If you looked at the actual storylines of the comic books from the 70s and 80s during the original trilogy time, there's some crazy storylines in there, including like a pink bunny of some kind who's got Jedi powers or something. So it kind of gave the history of all that. There's my personal favorite. There's a whole group of droid builders out in the world, the R2 Builders Club, that I'm kind of a part-time on and off member of. So they build real life, full-size operational R2 units. So they always have a room there. They show what they're doing. There's the 501st, which are the guys that guys and gals that make the mostly I guess they're all Imperial uniforms, the stormtroopers and everything else along those lines. So much to see there. So interesting. So last time I bought multi-day tickets, and actually took some time off work and went a couple of days. I think once by myself and once with my family, my wife and young son at the time. So when I heard it was going to be in Orlando again this year, because it had been 5 years, I'm like, great, I'm going to do this right again. I'm going to book tickets, and I'm going to get multi-day and do all that stuff. And I didn't do any of it because either lazy or overworked. And so I messed up, but I'm like, well, I'll just buy tickets and go. And I went and I looked, and the thing was sold out for Saturday, for the Saturday run. It ran Thursday through Sunday, right? Sold out for Saturday. Now, Glenn, have you ever been to the Orange County Convention Center?
I have.
Yeah. I think the only thing larger than this around here might be Epcot. Like, it is a massive place, right? So, and you got to figure the people that run these conventions probably want to sell every ticket they can. So just imagine how many tickets they would have to sell out the Orange County Convention Center.
Yeah.
Right? So, holy cow. So, it was sold out for Saturday. So, I'm like, well, so I ended up taking a day off work on the Friday, just bought tickets that one day, and went, and it was so crowded. And I've complained to you and our audience before about me and crowds. At least the weather was fine because it was indoors. Maybe even a little chilly, so it was nice. But my God, there were so many people there, and it makes it so hard. I'm glad you asked me how it was, just personally a while ago, and I said, well, I'm glad it's one of those things you chalk up to. I'm glad I went, but I wouldn't say I had fun. I mean, it was, it's kind of hard to explain that, but I would have been disappointed if I didn't go, and it's always great to see all the craziness, but my gosh, trying to juggle a family and figure out what you're going to do when there's so many people, and those neat talks that you want to go to, you can't really go to those. Many of the best talks, the panels, not only did you have to have a ticket to get in, but then you had to get a secondary wristband to go get to those, and by the time we got there at 10:30 in the morning, they were all gone. So, you couldn't do any of those things. It hit that point where there were just way too many people.
Yeah.
So, but still good. I wish I had done my original plan to do multi-day, and because then even with that many people, I just could have done a little bit each day. So if it ever comes back, or I should say when it comes back, I'm pretty sure it will. When it comes back, it looks like every couple of years they kind of run it. They try to alternate between LA and Orlando, it seems. And then they also have one in Europe for those folks over there. So it was like that. It was great staying the R2 builders, though. It actually spurred me to get back in gear and finish mine. So that's cool. my current project of choice.
Yeah. So for the audience, Chris is building an actual life-size R2-D2.
Yep, real one,
and it's pretty freaking awesome. You have the head. I mean, to me, getting the head working with all the lights and sounds and everything else.
Well, first of all, Glenn, it's not called the head; it's called the dome of the droid.
The dome.
It's the dome. Thank you.
See, I'm not a Star Wars fan, so
I know you're not a Star Wars fan.
But anyway, the dome I mean, it's working, it's alive, it's you're not that. I know I mentioned this to you, and I think you thought I was being a jerk, and I really wasn't. From my point of view, I think you've gotten over the hump, but
see, you would think so, but and actually. Nobody will care about this, but we'll put this on record for you and I to have for posterity. But I don't know if you remember, but I asked you, because you could start, this is like eating an elephant. You're like, where do you start building a droid? Because there's electronics to consider, there's the frame of the thing, there's, and different people, depending on what their fortes are, they kind of start different places. Some people that fabricate metal and stuff, then they kind of focus on the dome and the skins and all that stuff. For me, I'm a software guy. I wanted to build the internals and sort of the robotics aspect part of it. The framing of it, I almost couldn't care less about, but you got to make it, at least close to screen accurate, right? The best you can do. And so I remember I asked you, I'm like, where do you think I should start with this thing? And you agreed with me that, well, you should start with the dome, because at least if you stop there, you've got a working dome that is like, that's the key characteristic of R2, right?
Right.
You and I were both wrong, because the problem was that's what I did. And so I've got the dome is just about done, or at least to kind of Mach 1 version here. And I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. And then I stopped, right? So, because that was the fun part. So I'm kind of stuck on the next part is not my forte, which is the main structure of it. So I have the main body built, and the dome is really finished. It's painted and everything. The body doesn't have the skins or anything. It's just the frame. And I got to get the legs done and attached, and the feet and all that. And it's scaring me to death, because that's all the load bearing stuff, right? So there's like big bolts I got to worry about and stuff. So I'm kind of freaked out by that, and it's been a mental log jam. So I just kind of have to get over that and push it on. But I really would like to finish it, because it'd be cool, and B, because my son, we were looking at R2. Well, I was showing a video, I think, of like R2 builders and stuff one day in my office, and this thing is on a table in my office, 10 feet from where my son was on my lap, and we're looking at these things. And he said, "Dad, we should build one someday." And I'm like, "Buddy, look, this right there." And he's like, "Yeah, but he doesn't do anything." So I got to finish it just to prove it to the kid. So anyway, so that was the most fun for me, is spending some time in there, getting all the photographs. It's fun. It's fun to see the excitement, and it seemed it was true also for a lot of people that were working and attending the show, was that a lot of the excitement is seeing the little kids. I remember especially, I didn't get the gentleman's name, but we walked by an area where the Central Florida Lego Builders group had a huge, just amazing layout of just the dioramas and things that they've built. And, you could tell he was just getting the most joy by seeing the little kids come up and having their giant eyes looking at these things. So it's kind of fun to see it through their eyes. And at the start of the show, my son was very kind of tentative, in some cases scared to get his picture taken with any of the characters. By the end of the day, he was like, let's take a picture with that one and that one and that one. And so it was kind of fun. So I hope it comes back if anybody gets a chance to see, especially if you're planning a Disney trip. And gosh, over the next couple of years, lots going to be happening at the studios related to Star Wars. So if these things tie in together, you could just totally OD on your Star Wars love.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't tell you the best part. You want to hear well, I did tell you, but not for the show. So I'll tell you the best part.
Okay.
So in the 2 other celebrations I went to, there's always a little shop, a little area you could buy things.
Yeah.
And it'd be like you can get a coffee mug or
Sure.
a shirt or a tote bag or a scarf or, whatever thing that would have the Star Wars Celebration logo on it and all that. And
wait, they put that on merchandise?
Yeah, it seems like a couple of people buy those things.
Oh, okay.
So,
right.
yeah. And I actually, and each one I bought one, usually a coffee mug because I have a coffee mug addiction.
Right.
And did I mention my caffeine intake before? So I figured, at least, let me go. And it was at the other end. Actually, I got something else to tell you, too. It's at the other end of the show, right? Like, we came in, and again, if you've been to the convention center, it's like, to say it's at the other end of the room, that's like saying it's the other end of the planet. It is so far away. So we walk over there, and I see that there's a line to get into the shop that, and instead of just being like a roped off area in the middle of the floor, it's actually got like curtained walls and stuff, like almost like it's super secret to go in there. And I look at the line, I'm like, that looks like a long line to me. It looked like a line into like Space Mountain. It was ridiculous. And they had a sign up, just like the theme parks, of the wait for that line. And I won't ask you to guess because I already told you. But like for a moment for the listeners, imagine for a second, this is a line. All this is a line to buy, T-shirts and coffee mugs. This is not. This wasn't the line to like, hey, get Mark Hamill to tattoo your arm or something. It was 3 hours to get into that shop. 3 hours. Imagine that. 3 hours. Would you ever wait in a line like that just to go buy stuff?
Like, no, but I'll check eBay later and I'll pay a little premium, but my time is worth that.
It's right. Instead of $15 for the coffee mug, I'll pay $25.
Exactly.
But okay,
right.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I never even checked. And actually, to truth be told, the logo this time around was really kind of dull because they went. It's kind of a copy of the Last Jedi movie logo, where it's just sort of the red and black and white. So it's kind of dull. Are you laughing? Anyway.
No, I haven't seen it. That's why I was trying to. That's weird.
Oh, really?
Because I think they introduced the poster there, right?
Was it here? Maybe. Yeah, maybe you're right. No, it was beforehand.
Okay.
Yeah, it was beforehand. But yeah, it's just like Star Wars is in red instead of the gold. It's just a red outline, and The Last Jedi is white on a black background. It's which for the movie and maybe its content and where it's going with the story might have the right vibe to it. But for this, it was just kind of like, oh, that's kind of dull. Anyway, so I don't know what I missed out on. I haven't checked eBay. I should do that to see. But the other thing that's
sure a few people have put a few things up.
Yeah, I'm sure it was up before the show even started the second day. But do you know what else surprised me? Did you? And I don't remember this from last time, so I guess it's a new thing. Do you know people sleep over at these things?
Oh,
have you heard about this?
I don't doubt that. I mean,
no, but not like just hang out outside and whatever. Not like it's an official like sleepover. Like we went in. We went in the next day in the morning. And we're going through, and this humongous area. I wouldn't know what to compare it to for size scale, but imagine like they took all of Innoventions West and East and mashed all that together, and this huge roped off area, right? There was like those zigzaggy lines, like to fit a bunch of people in there.
Yeah.
And there was trash left over and inflatable, inflatable rafts you'd have for a pool, and like somebody left actual sleeping bag there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the place, because I kind of read over the sleepover. I'm like, who would do this? Seems kind of silly. But yeah, apparently thousands and thousands of people had a sleepover there. At least one night, maybe 2 nights. But it occurred to me later they did that so that they can be the first ones in the next morning. And
that's so dedication. They can get in line for the panels.
Yeah, you're right. Right, because you have to be like, I mean.
But they do that at Comic-Con and stuff too, though. I think.
Do they?
Yeah,
so when it gets to that scale, and it's it's just interesting, and to kind of bring it back to our Disney, or nominally Disney related show here. It's interesting to see the difference in this from pre-Disney buying to post-Disney buying, because the other two I went to were before Disney buying and before the new movies. And, there was a lot of passion there because people have always been passionate about Star Wars, but nowhere near this level. It was, like I said, you could walk up, you could buy passes for the day. There was no sleepover thing. There was I think the only thing I remember selling out was if you wanted autographs, you had to kind of pre-order those because you had to pay. And then, you had to stand in line at certain times. But you would kind of expect those to sell out because a lot of people want those and they're limited. But just the general con itself wasn't. So really huge. It's definitely the Star Wars franchise is, let's just say Disney got their money out of this because certainly, it's certainly not going down. Yeah, crazy. So it's a good time. Sorry to ramble on, but it's going to have to hold me for 2 years. So
yeah. So speaking of Disney getting their money out of everything.
Okay.
So apparently they are surveying people at the parks on whether they would like a all-inclusive adventure, Star Wars adventure. And so what the survey says, and it's not being conducted by Disney either. It's by a third party for some reason. I don't understand that. But at Disney's request, I would imagine. Yes. Okay. I mean, we're assuming that. Yes.
Is where was this? Where was the surveying at the parks?
At Hollywood Studios.
Oh yeah, okay. So surely it's by them. Okay.
So it would be a Star Wars resort hotel, and it would be you would spend 2 nights there, and they're calling it an immersive resort experience, and it would be basically attached to Hollywood Studios. We're assuming next to Star Wars Land. So it's 2 days, and it's a story that you follow.
Okay.
So as it unfolds, you're experiencing new things. You're working through the story, in this Star Wars, universe, essentially. They're going to have Star Wars characters there, live performers, throughout the, and it appears that they're going to make the hotel look like a starship or one of the spaceships.
Okay.
And then you'll engage in the story with programs such as flight training, ship exploration, lightsaber training, and personalized.
Hold on. With real lightsabers?
That's another thing. Disney has a patent for a real lightsaber.
Do they really?
Yeah, and so they think it's for this.
Wow.
And so somebody at Celebration said Disney has a real lightsaber, and I've seen it, and it's real.
Wow.
So I don't know.
Wait, and it's spectacular.
And it's spectacular.
Wow.
And personalized secret missions, both on the starship and throughout the Star Wars themed planet. So it includes all meals during your stay. Featured entertainment and dinner shows, and exclusive park admission to the Star Wars themed land at the Walt Disney World Resort. Star Wars Starship amenities include pool area, and water garden fitness.
Wow!
How do you theme all of that to this whole interactive story?
Well, it's got to be like Tatooine, so you drain all the pools, fill them with sand.
Right.
I don't know.
So, and then as of right now, the experience would be priced at roughly $900 to $1,000 per guest.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. So wait, so it's 2 nights or two days based on this survey? This is not an actual thing. We should point out. This is just somebody.
Right. This is This is
it's
what
like they're saying. Hey, what would you think if we had this
exactly,
thing? Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
But they do have concept art. So, I mean, they've thought it out enough to actually have concept art to show during the survey.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's 2 nights. So you check in, and then you spend that night, and then the whole next day you spend that night.
And that includes admission to one park?
They kick you out, yeah. Just Disney Hollywood Studios.
Wow,
on day 2.
This should be something you hate, because this sounds like one of those premium experiences that you're not a fan of.
You're correct. I don't know if I hate it or not, but I mean, it's once again, it's just something that is definitely geared to a luxury travel market.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, man.
It's a lot of money per
People would
person.
pay it. It would sell out though, for sure.
Oh, it's absolutely going to sell out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no Avatar themed, whatever, but wow.
Yep.
Well, would you?
So
Well, would you? I mean,
I-
gosh,
yeah,
with a
I
family
would-
of
I would-
four, though, good Lord, for 2 days
Right.
you'd be at $4,000.
I know, man.
Wow,
I know.
it's cool, but it's not. It's not
Yeah.
$4,000 cool.
Right.
We'll see where that goes. They got to end up doing something like that, though, right? Which kind of leads me to
Yeah.
this is always and will remain to be my nervousness about Disney owning Star Wars is just, are they going to just run this into the ground and just make it like there's just so much Star Wars? Right.
See Frozen.
Yeah, well, any other thing. See
Yeah.
pin trading. See.
Yeah, well, right. Anything.
Yeah.
Yes, the answer is absolutely they're going to run it into the ground.
Well, actually,
That
I wonder
being said-
how do Marvel fans feel about? Do you know? I'm not a real big comic book guy, so I don't have any huge affection towards Marvel. But they don't seem to be doing. They don't seem to be driving that into the ground.
No, they're doing it really well with it, but they only have the movies as an outlet. I mean, they have Disneyland. They're putting Guardians of the Galaxy there.
Yeah.
But they haven't really put too many Marvel things in anywhere. So, I don't know why exactly, because they're free to do it everywhere else except Disney World. They have an Iron Man experience in, I think Hong Kong Disneyland.
Maybe it doesn't. I mean, I guess it's possible it doesn't have the same draw, so there's not as much sort of energy to because it seems like what they do is they latch onto something that is how do I phrase this? They latch onto something that's going, hey, this thing's going 80 miles an hour. Let's take it up to 200 miles an hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's just even though there's lots of Marvel fans, not quite as much as maybe Frozen and Star Wars fans, so it doesn't have the same velocity. Does that make sense?
No, I mean it's like it's
It's not
the
my world,
second
so I don't really
biggest
know.
movie. I mean, franchise of all time.
Yeah,
It's huge, but I think it's just playing out in the movies because they have so many movies and so many inputs into the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Like every time you turn around, there's a new movie. Every year, there's at least one new movie. That is furthering the story because they are all interrelated.
Right.
So you can look at it like it's this epic, story that they're telling.
Right.
But why that hasn't translated to the theme parks and other stuff, I don't know.
Huh. Okay. Well, I don't know. I have to find a big Marvel fan and see what they think of how Disney's handled it. But
Yeah.
so while
Yeah,
we're chatting,
so-
because I tend to zone out when you're talking, I've been checking the eBay for the Star Wars Celebration stuff, and coffee mug's going for $55. So maybe I should.
Are you serious? Well, just wait.
No, I know this is like. Let me find the week that it would be the worst time to ever buy this stuff.
Right.
Yeah, it would be right now.
Right.
All right. Well, geez, that whole thing sounds great except for the $900. So
Yeah. Well,
if you could bring that price down for me a little bit.
no
that
joke.
would be it.
Really? What a shock.
All right, sarcasmo.
All right. I will touch on a couple news items real quick.
No,
Since we're on expensive things that I'll never be able to afford. So apparently Disney has announced it sounds like they announced it to their, to the current Club 33 members.
Yeah. Oh, settle in, everybody.
That they are going to be opening Club 33s in not just one theme park at Disney World, but all 4 theme parks at Disney World.
Oh, I missed that.
Yes.
I didn't realize that.
Yes.
Oh, that's okay. Well, before I give my feelings, how do you feel about that, Glenn?
It's just, it's fine. It's, look, I'm jealous. I can't afford the $25,000 initiation fee, and I couldn't afford the $15,000 annual fees. So I'll never be a Club 33 member, and I'm okay with that.
And that's how much it is at Anaheim too?
Yes.
Well, then, in all seriousness, it shouldn't bother you because it's not like
No,
it's
I know.
not like it's
I know. I've
$1,000 there and $23,000 at.
Right. No, I can't afford it there. I can't afford it anywhere.
But it's kind of kind of, speaking of running things into the ground, it kind of ruins it because that's, and I know especially you're a little bit, but I mean, even if they were just bringing one over to Disney World, even that one is probably too much because, I mean, that should be a Disneyland exclusive special thing, right?
It should. That's how I feel, but...
And that's, in case anybody doesn't know, that give me the little background on that. What is its purpose at Disneyland? What is
it? So originally, Walt Disney, when he decided to build New Orleans Square in Disneyland, he wanted a place where he could entertain sponsors of the attractions in the park and have a place where he could go and entertain them and have them be members of this club so that they could reward their employees. So it was like it was a secret club, and in theory it still is. I mean, it's supposed to be secret, but
poor job at that. Right?
I know. But the cool thing was it was just a green door, and it just had a 33 on Royal Street in New Orleans Square. It just every attraction has an address. Well, this was 33, and it was just a green door with no signage or anything like that. And so it was in the people, millions of people just walk by this door not knowing that anything's really behind it. But you also can't get in or see in or anything like that unless you're a member. So, and Walt Disney even envisioned within the club itself that he would have audio animatronics to interact with the guests while they were dining. And so far as he wanted to have microphones placed in the chandeliers throughout the restaurant so that the servers could listen in, and if somebody said they needed something, they would automatically bring it to them.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
And so that's exactly right. And so the microphones are still there.
You sure it didn't have anything to do with he would entertain his business contacts there and get a little intel?
So the microphones are still there, but they were turned off very, very early because the people who went there did not like that idea.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's
so. So there's a lot of there's a lot of history to it and everything else, and but that's what Club 33 originally was, and the intention for it, and so it was built. Walt never got to actually dine there because he passed away before it all opened, but it's still open, and it was a place for sponsors originally, and then they opened it up to other companies and everything else. And so it stayed as its intended use for a long time. But then they opened it up to individuals to buy memberships and stuff. And so,
right.
It's pretty much anybody who wants to sign up on the waiting list, which the waiting list is, 12 years long.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So anyway.
So somebody has that money.
Somebody has money. So anyway, so they're bringing it to Disney World, 4 of them. To me, it kind of dilutes it. But whatever. Like I said, I'm jealous. And so I don't love the idea. But yeah, whatever. If you can afford it.
Is that a definite or
What, that I can't afford it? Yeah.
No.
Pretty much. Unless that thing takes off, then that'd be a nice little bonus.
Just sell off one of the kids. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
No, that it's definitely coming to Orlando? Or it's like a being
no, they're definitely coming to Orlando.
Yeah, I don't like that idea. At least call them something else. Take the concept of it, but kind of call it something else.
Well, I think they will. They're not going to call it Club 33, though.
No, that's a little bit better. But so it really has nothing to do with it. All right, it's fine. It's Club 34.
Right.
35,
right.
36, and 37.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll save up my pennies. Maybe I'll buy you a membership.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
That's per year, though. That's not even like a lifetime.
No, every year you got to come up with that.
Really?
Yeah, man.
No way.
And you still have to pay for the meal.
And you got to buy park admission.
No.
What?
So with the membership, you get annual passes, you get parking, you get all that.
Just not the food. Sorry.
Not the food. You have to pay for the food for whatever reason.
Wow.
Oh, and that was the other thing. That was the only place in Disneyland that you could get an alcoholic drink.
Oh, right. So
But
to the
that's
Alkies, it was worth that money.
Right, because that's where they needed to go to drink.
I see. Now they just go to Epcot. Anyways.
That's right. Wait, Epcot has alcohol?
I hear it's coming to the Magic Kingdom. I heard it on a podcast.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Wow, that was a while ago now. Cool. Well, all right. Any other news? Since you're on the news?
No, I mean, there's other stuff, but we're good. Oh, no, there is no. That's a lie. There is one thing that is pretty much confirmed is that the gondola is coming to Disney World.
That's crazy, right? I thought
read it in the awesome
happening.
Orlando Sentinel.
Don't say that in sarcasm.
What? No, I'm not. The awesome Orlando Sentinel.
Yeah.
So it's coming. So they submitted the plans to Orange County, and they listed the manufacturer and everything else. And
yeah. This is
so
crazy.
it's a
I just
real
can't
thing.
imagine this. I'm still trying to imagine how this works.
We all are, man. It's not just you.
Like the thing you said, it's like the most sense. Like, what about the storms? I mean, are you going to be in these things and they're going to be swaying
Not
back
me,
and
buddy.
forth? And
I'll be on a bus.
No, you'd be taking your private Disney Uber.
Oh, that's right.
See what I did there?
Right.
That's called a segue, Glenn.
Yeah, that is. And if I remember that story, so Disney's looking into building their own Uber force.
Well, looking into or like hiring for there was something that seemed more definitive than that, wasn't it?
Oh, really?
Thought. Makes sense.
One
though.
of the other. So they're looking at. So yeah, I've spoken many times, and I've actually done it once. The new bus service that they had, the express bus service from park to park.
Yep.
And so apparently, that was just a trial, which made sense because everything was temporary. It was just temporary signs and everything else. They recently went up on the price for those, but I don't know how long those are actually going to last. So they're obviously looking. They obviously know there's a problem with their current transportation, with everything that they have between the monorails, the boats, and the buses. It's not working as efficiently as it could, and so people are they're calling Uber to go from place to place on Disney property. And
see, I don't know if it is an admission of a problem so much as just they're obviously looking for premium revenue opportunities to layer on to core.
All right, I'll go with that
Park stuff, but I guess that's just spin. Yeah, it's me spinning it. But
yeah,
okay, there's an opportunity there either way. Right?
Clearly, it's not the most efficient system on the planet. I mean, it's just not. Okay. But yeah, you're right. And so they're looking to have their own essential Uber force. So if you want to get from point A to point B, wherever it may be, because right now the buses go from just park to park. They don't go to Disney Springs or the hotels or anything like that. So if you did want to go from Magic Kingdom to wherever, Saratoga Springs, and you don't want to wait on the bus, then you just hail an Uber and they'll pick you up and bring you there.
Not actually an Uber, but an Uber-like thing. I mean, it makes sense. They have a fantastic mobile application. We talked about it before. I think they really put some great effort into that. It's not that much to layer this into there. You get some mapping things, some drivers that are heading around. They've already got a huge transportation system, so I'm sure they can find some drivers for some cars.
Right.
It makes a lot of sense. Then they get some additional revenue that probably cheap for them to add on. So it seems to fit all their criteria for the kinds of things they're adding in these days. But I would, depending on the price, there might be times I'd use that.
Yeah,
I'd probably use that way before I would pay for the express bus thing. Yeah. Just because it feels like it's money, what am I trying to say? Like definitive value out of that. Like I'm having somebody take me from here to there because that's what I need to get over to the Magic Kingdom because fireworks are going off soon and I don't have to stand in a line. I don't have to, it's still bus transportation in the other part. So at least this is like I have a car taking me from here to there. So I would do that depending on what the cost is.
Right.
All right.
All comes down to cost.
Can't wait to try that out. Someday I'll take an Uber from my house to there, then just take the Uber between the parks, or the Duber. I'll call it the Duber. The Disney Uber.
Yeah, the Duber.
How's that? We'll call it the Duber. Feel free to use that, Bob. I would take the Duber between the parks. Only here, folks. You can only get this kind of energy. All right. Where else are we going with this?
Folks.
Where else are we taking this train?
All right. So that's it.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it for the news?
Yeah.
Listen, if you can't get excited about it, everybody else can get excited about it.
Well, no. You know what I am excited about?
No. What? Tell me. What you got?
So, the Welch family is planning a trip to Disney World for July.
What? I thought you were a Universal family these days.
No. I didn't have to do much convincing either. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Wow. When you come in, for me, this was always the most exciting part of a Disney trip. Still is.
Yes.
Is the planning part, right? The thinking about which days, what parks.
That's right. I have a whole spreadsheet.
Recognizing that it's almost 1 a.m. here. Why don't you give me the lowdown? How does this work? How does a Glenn plan his trips?
Well, so we got our hotel reservations, and then so as soon as I got that, I went on my Disney experience, and I linked my hotel reservation to my account, and then all kinds of magical stuff happened, and it opened up for me, so I can see all the days. I already bought my memory maker photo pass for the trip already, and then I've made some dining reservations. We've already picked our colors for our magic bands.
So wait, wait. Actually, the magic bands thing. So because I'm an annual pass holder, so I'm not even sure like when I'm entitled to get new bands. But it seems like randomly they say, "Hey, pick your new bands." So I'm like, okay. So, but when you stay, like every stay you get new bands. Is that kind of how it works?
Yep. You can either use your old ones or you can get new ones. And I would always get new ones just to make Disney spend the money to.
Why wouldn't you? No, and these will be the version
the
2
new ones.
The Mach 2.
Yeah,
okay. I don't have any of those yet. Yeah, I don't have any of those.
So anyway, I got purple.
Really? Oh yeah, Prince.
We did all that. So what I do is I go on touringplans.com and I look out for the days that we're going to be there, and they have a anticipated crowd calendar. And so I put that into a spreadsheet along with the operating hours for each day. And then I also mark the days that have either the early morning or the extra magic, extra hours, to know, if I get extra time in the parks or if I want to avoid the parks those days, whatever.
Well, what is your general thought with that? On magic hours days, do you avoid that park, or is that the park you go to?
Yes.
Okay.
So it depends.
That helps.
It just because yes, there are days I want to avoid them because I know everybody's going to go there, and then there's days that I actually want to go because I want to take advantage of them. So for the Epcot days, let me see. Yeah, so for the Epcot days that we're going, they're both. One is a magic early morning thing, and then the other is the nighttime. And like that day. The nighttime when we picked a late dinner time. So like we'll go back to the hotel during the day and relax and then go back and spend the night and then, stay as late as we can, that night. Mm-hmm. But the other day, those are the only 2 days that we're taking advantage of that. All the other days we're, missing it.
Okay.
So anyway, I look at the crowd calendar, look at all of that. And then I'm like, okay, well, I know I want the last day to be Magic Kingdom. So like, okay, that's that. Boop. Oh, and by the way, I don't think I'm going to get, park hoppers this time. I think we're going to do one park one day. Yeah.
Wow. Why is that?
Cause it's an extra $300.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
So,
wait, for the whole family.
Yeah, for the whole family.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. It's a significant difference.
Do you think that'll? If you look back, do you generally do much park hopping?
So that's what we think back on, and we say, can we do this? Are we willing to be stuck in one park for the whole day, and not have the opportunity to go back to another park? like Hollywood Studios, we're only planning one day there. Are we willing to
Make that
limit
a
it to
pool
that
day or
one
something.
day, or do we think we'll want to go back for another day for a few more hours,
Right.
to do something else? That's what we have to weigh out. So, my fast pass reservations don't open until, I think 30 days from now.
Okay.
And so I have a little bit of time before I have to buy the tickets.
Yep.
So we're still thinking about that. So,
Okay.
so anyway,
Well, which day is the meetup? Do you have that in your spreadsheet? Which day should should our audience be planning to do the meetup?
let's see. We can do.
Because if you do that, then it's a business expense. So the whole
Oh.
trip. Yeah, because you got to plan and travel and all that. Sure.
Oh, well then, seriously, we'll do it on.
Boy, that changes the equation.
It really does. We'll have to talk about this.
Yeah. All right. We'll plan that out. Well, that's cool. I'm excited. So you're going to come down here.
Me too.
You got
I'm very
to make
excited.
sure you fit me into that schedule somewhere so we can.
We're trying to
have a
do it
thing.
on as economically as possible. So we're staying at the All Star Music.
Really?
Yes.
So it's going to be you and every school band in the country will be there.
Yes. That's fine. We won't be there much.
Well, you're going to have to be because you can't park hop. So,
Right. So anyway, that's the trip. And then we're also going to have going to Kennedy Space Center for a day.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm going to have to tag along for that. Sorry.
Yes.
Yep. We'll do full report.
We're looking forward to it. All of us are looking forward to it.
Yeah, your last trip down here was primarily Universal, right? You didn't do Disney.
That's right.
so-
And it's actually going to be just about a year when we come down. It'll be about a year since we've been down there.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's been 2 years since the kids have been to the parks at Disney. So,
Okay. Well, keep us updated on your planning.
yeah.
You got lots to think about, photo gear to take, shoots to plan,
Oh my
all that stuff.
goodness.
Yep. Lots to do.
No. It's exciting, though. It's fun.
Yeah,
We
the
have
best
something
part.
to look forward to now,
Yeah, it's the best part.
Like I said,
Cool.
the anticipation.
Excellent.
Yes. Oh, and we did get we got Be Our Guest reservations.
I've still not been there. Have you been there?
No, this is our first time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Wow.
So I was excited about that. Megan was very excited about that. So
That's great.
yeah.
So table for 8, right? Is that what you got?
Sure.
Yeah, meet us there. Sure.
I can.
It's fine. I was going to buy, but okay. I'll be at Club 33 and a half.
Exactly.
Oh, they should Club 33 and a third. That's where I'll be.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, that's only for the old folks to know what that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
What's next? It's like 3 a.m. here now.
I know. We're right about at the hour mark. So
Is it really? Sure,
Yeah.
felt longer.
yes, it did, didn't it?
And our audience is saying, yes, it did.
Okay. Do you have a things that do good things?
Things that people doing good.
Pick.
I'm going to retitle this spot. People doing good. Yeah, I do.
Just retitled it.
No, I'm going to do it again. We might do a different title every week because it's not just
Oh,
it's people doing good things. It's all about the humans. So I do, and I think I mentioned to you earlier today. It's funny because whatever span of time we can go that we don't record, like I don't really hear much that captures my attention in terms of like the charities and different sort of organizations. And then it seems like recording day, there's always something that pops in front of me that I go, hey, that'd be a cool thing to talk about.
Mhm.
So I'm going to talk about, and I kind of talked about it before, but not in this aspect of it. So I've mentioned the United Way before.
yes.
I think they're a good organization. They cover a lot of different areas. So whether it's gosh, I wouldn't even know where to start, but just about any kind of charity thing you can imagine, whether it's housing or domestic abuse issues or medical things you need to get. They cover a lot of that kind of area. So I didn't even know where I saw it today. I was somewhere on the interwebs and saw mention of a service called 211. Are you familiar with this?
I am not.
Okay, so you know how there's 911 for emergencies and there's 411 for information. Not sure
Hold on,
you're
I'm
still
writing
using
this
Yeah, you got all this.
Yes.
It's complicated. There's a 211 service that I guess is sponsored by the United Way, run by the United Way, but they've worked with the telecommunications giants to make sure that these route through. So if anybody had need of assistance from like a United Way service, or just needed like, I have this issue, I don't know where to go, you can call 211 from anywhere, and you'll route to a live staffed help desk that you can tell them whatever your issue is. I have no electricity and money to pay for it, and I got kids at home, that kind of thing, and they'll give you guidance on what you could do about that to help you out with your problem. So I had known about this long ago, but forgot about it for a while. It's a good thing to know about if you ever like have anything. It's not quite an emergency like a 911 thing, but I've got a real managing life kind of issue that I don't know who to turn to. I don't know what medical professionals or services in the community I could go to. These people could help you out, and it's easy to remember. 211.
Very cool. I had never heard of that, but that's a great service.
Yeah, you got to listen to a lot of junk up front, but eventually we get to the educational stuff.
Right.
So, and it's a good thing also if you don't need it yourself, but maybe friends or family might. Good thing to remember for them too.
Yeah.
And if you want more information on it, you can go to 211.org, and they kind of spell out what they do and different things they can cover. And good service, free.
Awesome. Cool.
See, this is when communities come together and you use taxes the right way. You can kind of fund stuff like this.
That's right.
Anyway, so check it out. Another reason United Way is a good organization.
Yes.
They cover a lot of ground like this, and it's a great service. So check it out, 211.org.
Pick of the week.
Yeah. Who's going?
You're me.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay, go.
Me?
No, wait. Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh.
Ready?
Why do we do this? I'll just lie. All right. Rock, paper, scissors, go.
Scissors.
That's what I did. We can't do the same thing.
Come on.
Rock, paper, scissors, go.
Rock.
Rock. Rock, paper, scissors, go.
Scissors.
Scissors. Oh, jeez. Rock, paper, scissors, go.
Paper.
Scissors.
Oh!
Finally, scissors. So I won. Does that mean I go first or I go second?
You pick.
No, I'll go first.
Okay.
Because this will be kind of quick. And I think it'll apply to maybe one of our listeners out there, but I'm going to say it anyway because I'm really happy I found this. So, I have an iPad Pro, and one of the things I love about this iPad Pro is the pencil bit, because I like to every once in a while, I'm not an artist. I fancy myself one. I do a little bit of sketching here and there, but they're horrible. They're like, like my toddler did them. But it's fun for me. But I also use it a lot for sort of digital whiteboarding, if you will. Like, I'm a very visual kind of thinker. So as I'm thinking of like technical things for work or whatever, I kind of sometimes have to draw boxes with arrows and stuff to make it work in my head. But I hate the Apple Pencil because it's way too slippery and even a little too small to hold on to. I prefer like the Microsoft Surface that is like a pen more than a pencil. So I've been looking, and also the pencil has this weird thing to charge it. You like take the cap off, but there's nowhere to put the cap while you're charging, so it like get lost and stuff. So I've been looking for a good solution, and lots of people that make different cases and different holders and stuff for them. And I've been looking for a good solution. I finally found one I really like, and it's super cheap. So I was so excited about it. It's called the Mini Suit. And I guess they call it that because it's kind of like a little wetsuit for the pencil. It's like made out of that neoprene rubber kind of stuff. It's like a little like a skin tight container for the thing, and it adds just the amount of like sort of grip to it to make it easier to hold on to, but ingeniously they made it so that you can, because it's stretchy, right, it goes around the whole thing, you can pull off the back part to be able to charge it, and it holds the little back part in the back part of the case itself, so you can't lose that thing. So
cool.
That's my pick, the Mini Suit Apple Pencil case, all of $6.95 on Amazon. How much better could it be?
That's pretty cool.
If you're here, I'll send it to you real quick. If you're if you are an Apple Pencil user, like I said, there's probably two of you out there, but if you are, you might be looking for just the thing. I've tried a bunch of other ones. I tried this other one. It's kind of neat to put the pencil inside like this outer casing that made it like almost like a pen, like you twist and the pencil part would come out, but it made it too bulky and whatever. So it fixes just the right amount of problem without it being like a massive thing to deal with. It was a bit of a pain to get on because it's a
Yeah.
tight fitting thing, like trying to put me in a wetsuit. But it was a good solution. I like it.
Cool. Very cool.
All right, see, easy.
All right, mine is a very expensive pick, and it's actually from your recommendation.
$25,000 a year for a Club 33.
It's from your recommendation.
Oh dear.
But I just bought these, and they're pretty awesome. So I got the Arlo Pro security system.
Oh yeah. Okay. How
So
you like 'em?
I have 5 cameras around the house, and they're pretty.
Wow, you went for you. Wow, you popped for the 5-pack.
Yes, I did.
Wow. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a cheap pick. But
All right, so what
if
are
you're looking
what are
for
these for people that for people who don't know, what are these?
Yeah, so if you're looking for a security system, security cameras for your house, what I was looking for was something that I didn't have to drill holes, I didn't have to, route wires everywhere and everything else. I wanted something that was wireless, both to connect to the internet, but also for I wanted them battery operated. I didn't want to have to only put them where there's an electrical outlet. I didn't want to have to run wires and all that. So I was talking about my dilemma to Chris, and he was like, "Oh, well, I have the solution. They have these Arlo makes cameras that are completely wireless, and you can put them wherever you want." And so I put them wherever I wanted, and they're really cool. And the coolest thing about it that I just figured out, I think late last week, was the scheduling. Like, there's different modes that these cameras can be in. So you can set up, like, when the cameras are on, when they record, which includes if one camera detects something, you can actually have another camera start recording at that moment. So I have it set up to, a few different scenarios where, like, if there's movement by the front door, it automatically starts recording inside, where I can see the front door as well. So because the one problem with these cameras is that it takes like a second or two for them to actually come on once it detects motion. It's not immediate. And so I figure, so I set these up to where if somebody was coming in the house, I might not catch their face or who it is as they come in the front door, but I'll get them as they're actually coming in the front door. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I didn't actually either notice or know that you could trigger multiple cameras from that. I have to look at it again because you actually have the newer version of what I have. You have the whatever version 2. So I don't know if that's a feature they've changed or if maybe that came as a software update. I haven't actually seen, but that's an interesting idea.
Yeah, it's very cool. And so I have them on a schedule based on if we're home, it does one set of things. If we're not home, it does another set of things. If we're sleeping, it does another set of things.
Oh, wow. You've gotten much more elaborate than I am. I, to be fair, I only use mine outside. So, and they're kind of spread out. So I use them just sort of kind of one at a time that way. But that's, wow, you've gotten pretty elaborate with it.
Yeah. And so these also have a 2-way speaker.
Yeah.
So if I look at it live, I can actually hear what's going on inside. And I can actually talk to, like, my kids or whatever. If I'm not there and ask them a question, they can hear me. They can't see me, but they can hear me and I can see them. And so it's a really great system.
Wow. I think you're going to cost me money. I think I'm going to have to upgrade to the newer version because
check the software update though first.
No, but even so, mine don't have the version 1s don't have the speaker nor the microphone, so I can't hear. I can just see.
Oh, okay.
And I definitely can't talk back. But the biggest problem I have is version 1, and I think some places still sell version 1. So if anybody's looking to be cognizant of this, actually they may even sell version 1 officially. But the ones I have are battery operated. They're wireless, but they're battery operated, which is a bit of a pain because about every 3 months I have to go up to 5. I get the ladder out. I go to 5 different cameras around the house, and I have to go change these 4 specialized in fairly expensive batteries. I think I get a pack of 12 of them for like $20.
Oh, they're not rechargeable?
No.
Oh.
I mean, I've read that you can buy some rechargeable ones to batteries to put in, but yours are actually rechargeable. Like the unit itself is rechargeable.
Right.
Yeah, from like USB or something.
Correct.
Right. So that's the way to go. That's the main reason I'm thinking of upgrading is for the rechargeability, so I don't have to keep go. Because then the other thing I'm thinking is you could get for the outdoor ones, you could get a little solar panel. A number of people, if you look on Amazon, a number of people make like 5-volt solar, which is what you need for USB powered things. 5-volt solar panels. So I'm thinking of putting those up where the cameras are and plugging them in, so they should just get constant energy that way. So I don't have to recharge those that get sun and all. But very cool. Well, I'm glad it worked out. I get ever since that.
These are fine. They're not the mouse. They're
ever
fine.
Since that Logitech mouse debacle of 2017, or 16, whenever that was. I'm very gun shy. So. Yeah, they're not cheap though. They're pretty pricey.
They are not cheap. I will give you that. But for what you get, I mean, no security. Quite honestly, no security camera system is cheap. So if you're gonna spend the money, you just soon spend. I don't know. These are pretty good. I mean, they work. They have night vision. It.
And I don't know if you mentioned, but the unlike you, because you can buy lots of standalone cameras and generally cheaper. Like I have inside the house, I have a couple of mostly for like kid room monitoring, but I've got like the Foscam that you can get like a 2-pack of those for like $120 or something.
Yeah.
But what these have that make them extra special is it uploads the video to their cloud system. So no matter where you are in the world, you can see. And I think that's they keep them for a certain number of days for the basic.
7 days.
Is that it? Well,
for the basic. I mean, I haven't paid. Yeah. You can upgrade, and it'll save. I don't know how long it saves them.
Yeah, which generally you don't need. I mean,
right.
Like I've had to go back maybe a day or two, but I haven't had to go back farther than that.
Yeah, but you can also plug in local storage to it. There's a USB port on the base station.
I don't have that either.
And you just plug a hard drive into it, and it'll record to locally as well. And that's as until it fills up.
Yeah.
And then it just starts deleting, and
Wow.
Yeah.
There's something else I was going to mention about that too. Let's see. Did you know? Oh no, that's a different thing. Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, as long as do you mind if I chain on sort of a secondary pick? Because I've been wanting to do it, but it fits here because we're talking about like home security stuff.
Yes.
And I don't think I've picked it before. The Ring video doorbell. Have I talked about that?
Oh yeah. No, you've talked to me about it, but not.
I got to check the wiki.
On here, I don't think we've talked about it.
Yeah, okay. So that's another thing. If somebody's thinking about putting cameras for their homes and stuff, between those Arlo cameras and the Ring video doorbell at ring.com, great solution there. You can't spend better money than that. So
yeah,
that's a little bonus pick for you. But yeah, glad you got them. Glad you liked them.
Yes.
Question is, have you given access to the video to anybody else but yourself, like to your wife or
just Tammy? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I waited for like a week before I did that too. So.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure everything was right before I turned anything over. So
actually, let me ask you what you do. So you said you have different rules for when you're home and when you're not. Or I guess it's different. It's time of day, right? Because it doesn't really know if you're home or not, right?
That's correct. It does. Okay, so I'm going to bore people, but there's actually a on the phone app.
Yeah.
So not on the web,
through geofencing
hub. Yeah. Exactly. There's it's in beta right now, but it works. It works. So in your modes, you go in and you say, okay, you can change, whatever you want, but they have a geofencing, so it manages by my location. So if I turn that on and I go outside of that range, which I have it set to like a block, basically. If I go out of there, then it sets it to. Then you tell it, okay, what mode do you want it to be in? And so I say, okay, my away mode, which means all the cameras are on, waiting for detection. Right.
I see. So you make them much more sensitive if it senses you're not there.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Correct. So if I go out of that, then I don't have to. Then it just boop, they're on.
Yeah,
and then when I go back in, it. So that is on, but I also have a schedule based on normal. So Monday through Friday, when I'm at home, that whole thing, right? Yeah. So, but if I'm okay, but like this week the kids are off, right? And I'm home, so I just go in and say, okay, I'm just going to manually override it, and I'm going to say daytime I'm at home on a Tuesday, and so it overrides the schedule, turns the schedule off, and until I change it, it's going to be in that mode for however long I leave it there. So there's a lot of options.
Cool. Okay. So that's the Arlo security cameras, right?
Yes.
By Netgear, I think, right? They,
Yes.
it's pretty cool. Yeah. Good pick. Great pick.
Well, thank you.
Hey, that's what I do. Spend people's money.
Yeah, thanks for that. That's why we're not getting FastPass. Or,
that's why we can't hire. That's why we
Park
can't hire.
Hopper.
Which, by the way, because you've not, I don't think you've had this joy before of having video cameras at your house. When you do make that trip and you have these cameras at your house,
Oh, I know.
a whole new level of comfort because you're just,
Yeah.
You're probably a little neurotic like I am, and you're like I don't even know how I would take a vacation anymore if I couldn't see my house once in a while. I just check in there, just okay, like everything's where it should be.
Right. I do it during the day. When I'm at work, I'm like, oh, let's see what's happening at the house.
Yeah, make sure nobody's getting into trouble.
Right. Let's see if the cat's around.
Yeah, make sure the kid's out of the liquor cabinet.
The cat was sitting on the ground, just looking outside the back door,
Yep.
And so I did the microphone and said, I said his name, and he started looking around. He's like, wait.
That's great. Yeah, great way. Lots of money to spend to your pet. Good. Oh, awesome.
New cat toy.
All right. I can't wait to get my login. I'm going to have a lot of fun with your system.
Yes. Well, if we didn't have inside cameras.
I thought we were friends.
Yeah, but there's a different level.
Let's get out of here. It's like 6 a.m. here. I got to get to work in like an hour. So.
I know. All right.
All right.
Later.
See you next time.
Yes. Bye. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Terrific Recordings of Nothing. Follow Chris on Twitter and Instagram at CBGray, and Glenn on Twitter and Instagram at DizWiz. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Tron_FM, and on Facebook at Terrific Recordings of Nothing. For all things related to the show, including show notes and links to connect with us, visit us at tron.fm.